My name is Suresh Kumar. It's a question for both the young politicians. Leadership, quality of leadership, energy, behind that leadership. I think it was mentioned yesterday, 70% of the population is below 35. Today you said 50% below 25. How come, 70% of our politicians, or certainly those in the parliament, are above the age of 35? Would you see a voluntary retirement scheme there? Maybe give them twice the money that they currently make to stay at home. And equally, could we not apply that to the bureaucrats as well? Pay them twice the salary to stay at home. And Arun Shourie talked about hacking the functions, surgery. So this might be one idea. The other point is you mentioned about, belling the cats. So one of the things perhaps is, in a similar vein, a Kamraj plan, perhaps a multi-party consensus Kamraj plan. Because our leadership is really geriatric, if I may put it mildly. Do you have any ideas, any thoughts in that regard?
Can we have the second question? We'll try and take the answers together.
Citizens of the country of my birth, I would like to advise that they continue electing young, vibrant politicians like these. And to the politicians, I want to say, I'll tell you, with the kind of acumen you've displayed, I don't think this country has much to worry about.
Thank you very much. I'd like to address that earlier question about geriatric leadership. I've had to deal with this in many forums, particularly on TV shows, as to whether there ought to be a retirement age for politicians. And my firm answer is absolutely not, because a democracy means that people should have the option to elect a person of any age if they think he or she is the best person to lead the country. Why don't we have younger leaders? Well, we have had younger leaders in the past, and we will have younger leaders in the future. The reason why political parties are not charities. They will have younger leaders inducted into the party structure if that is what the electorate will actually reward. Now, those of us in this room talk about the desirability to have younger leaders, but the vast majority of those hundreds of millions of young voters are apathetic about it. They're apathetic about politicians in general. That's why we need to engage them. And when there is enough of a demand to have younger leadership, we will get it.
I'm Giri from Bangalore. I want to ask either of the speakers whether they are taking any special initiatives to ensure that people from their generation take up this profession of politics. Like probably when we had a shortage of people joining the army, there was a campaign, join the army, join the navy, join the air force. Don't you think young politicians to take up some kind of initiative so that youngsters start looking at that profession at a very early age? Because I think any of us here would love to see the day when we run into a drugged visionary of a politician, say in Heartland or Bihar, but that dream seems very far away.
My question is to Mrs. Mehbooba Mufti. Could you give us the reasoning behind this, what has now become the very controversial women's bill? In many ways, it was taking away the rights that women already enjoy in Kashmir, taking away rights that women enjoy in other parts of India. What was your reasoning?
See, actually, this bill has been very much. There has been, I would rather say, we use a very strong word, there has been a lot of malicious propaganda regarding this bill. It's a law, it's already there. It's already there, but since High Court passed a judgment and they wanted our clarification, we had to do that. First of all, it does not take the property rights of a woman who marries outside. She can have the property according to the Hindu law, Muslim law, whatever is her property, but the only immovable property that she inherits, she cannot transfer or sell it to a non-state subject. Secondly, if she is working in this Jammu and Kashmir state, she doesn't lose her job after getting married. Thirdly, I would say that men should have problem with this law because any man from rest of the country cannot, after marrying a girl, cannot get the state subject there. But any girl from rest of the country, if she marries into a state, she gets the state subject. So what is this hue and cry about? If we are discriminating against, it's not discrimination, I would say if we are specific, if we are gender specific as regarding the J&K state, as regarding the women in J&K state, we are also gender specific regarding the whole of the country. 50 crore men cannot get the state subject of Kashmir, but the women can.
My name is Adarsh Gupta. My question is for Mr. Panda. Before asking my question, I would like to share my point of view. Different generations have different mindsets, and as President Kalam and other leaders says, children are our future, so what is present and past? So I may say the present is 25 to 50 and the past is 51 plus. Those who are born pre-independence have local mindset, but those who are born after 60s have a global mindset. As far as vision is concerned, we have been hearing for the last 50 years, roti, kapda and makan. And if you look at all the marketeers, they want to make consumers Maharaja, a king, and therefore there are many youths.
What's the question?
Yeah, there are many youths in this country who have vision of making India world's best. And Mr. Panda, you as representative of Indian youth, what is your vision about bringing together the youth of India who have global vision for India?
Whenever I listen to young and very energetic, charismatic politicians like Jay, I feel very hopeful and also very concerned, because when I started my career with a leading company about 22, 23 years ago, at that time it was Mr. Rajiv Gandhi who was at the helm of the country's affairs. I had to deal with the sales tax department, the excise department and various other departments, and the kind of fresh energy which was existing in those departments. They said for the last 35 years we have not done what we have been asked to do now. And when I also see that you are associated with a party where there are certain senior leaders, a party which is not in power, a party which probably has leaders who would not let you, I'm not making a comment on your party specifically, but any other party. I personally feel that if leaders like you form your own party, where whether there are elected or non-elected people from various walks of life who can contribute tremendously to the society, and whether you are in power or you are not in power, you can make a tremendous difference by lobbying for the right kind of reforms, because you would be the voice of the society. And I think that is, in some ways, I'm representing the sentiments of Adarsh and the gentleman earlier. Would you be willing to start your own party? I'm sure there would be so many people who would join people like you.
I've been fortunate enough to have participated in the formation of a party. And my party, which is an ally of the NDA government, has a very young leadership. Our party president, Mr. Naveen Patnaik, is only in his 50s. Regarding the vision of what used to be roti, kapda and makan, I want to paraphrase my late friend, Devang Mehta of NASCOM, who said the catchphrase for today should be roti, kapda, makan, bijli or bandwidth. That ought to be the mantra for our generation.